Health as your greatest financial asset. Picture this. You're 42 years old. You've been saving 15% of your income for retirement. You've got a decent emergency fund. You're finally feeling like you're getting ahead financially. And then you get the diagnosis: type 2 diabetes. Suddenly, you're looking at $16,752 a year in healthcare expenses. That's more than most people save for retirement annually. Everything you've been building, it's now being diverted to managing a condition that, here's the brutal truth, was probably preventable. If that scenario made your stomach drop, you need to hear this. Hello and welcome to my channel. I spend way too much time thinking about the hidden financial decisions that quietly destroy wealth. If you're someone who's diligently tracking every expense, optimizing your investment portfolio, but completely ignoring the single largest financial risk you're carrying around every day, your health. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Here's the thing, we obsess over investment returns. We'll spend hours researching whether to put money in a Roth IRA or a traditional 401k. We'll lose sleep over whether the stock market is going to crash, but we completely ignore the fact that poor health can wipe out decades of financial planning in a matter of years. Let me show you the math that nobody wants to talk about. The CDC reports that 90% of America's $4.9 trillion in annual healthcare spending goes toward treating chronic diseases and mental health conditions. That's $4.4 trillion. And here's what most people don't realize. The majority of these conditions are preventable. In fact, research published in The Lancet estimates that preventable diseases cost the U.S. healthcare system $730 billion annually. That's 27% of our total healthcare spending going toward illnesses we could have avoided. But let's make this personal. Let's talk about what this means for your wallet. If you develop cardiovascular disease, you're looking at an average of $19,000 per year in healthcare expenses. Type 2 diabetes, $16,752 annually. And those are just the direct medical costs. The person with diabetes is spending an average of $19,736 total per year on medical expenses, with about $12,022 of that directly attributable to the diabetes itself. Now you might be thinking, but I have insurance. I'm covered. Look, let me tell you something about insurance that the insurance companies definitely don't want you to fully understand. The average family health insurance premium in 2025 is $26,993 per year. That's before you pay a single dollar towards your deductible, your copays, or your coinsurance. For individuals, it's $9,325. And those costs are projected to increase by 6.5%, 10% in 2026. Even with insurance, people with chronic conditions are paying thousands out of pocket. The average out-of-pocket costs for diabetes patients range from $3,300 to $4,600 per year, every single year. Here's where it gets really interesting. Let's run a comparison that most financial advisors never show you. Imagine two people, both 35 years old, both earning $75,000 a year, both saving 15% for retirement. Person A maintains good health, goes to the gym regularly, eats reasonably well, gets 7 to 8 hours of sleep, manages stress. Person B doesn't prioritize health, sedentary lifestyle, poor diet, chronic stress, minimal sleep. Fast forward 15 years, they're both 50. Person A is still healthy. Person B has developed type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure. Person A continues saving their $11,250 per year. Over those 15 years at a conservative 7% return, that's roughly $283,000 in their retirement account. Person B now has an extra $16,752 in annual diabetes costs and let's say $8,000 for blood pressure management. That's $24,752. But they're still only earning $75,000, adjusted for inflation, but let's keep the math simple. Something has to give. Their retirement contributions drop to maybe 5% or $3,750. Over those same 15 years, they've accumulated maybe $94,000. The wealth gap? $189,000, and that's being conservative. That's not accounting for the lost income from sick days, the reduced productivity, or the potential career advancement they missed because they didn't have the energy to pursue opportunities. This is where it gets really interesting. The Integrated Benefits Institute found that poor health costs U.S. employers $530 billion annually in lost productivity. That's 1.4 billion workdays of absence and impaired performance. Those aren't just statistics. Those are promotions you didn't get, raises you didn't receive, projects you couldn't complete, businesses you didn't start. Because here's what most people don't realize. Health isn't just about medical bills. It's about your earning capacity. A study from Brigham Young University found that employees who rarely eat fruits and vegetables were 93% more likely to have higher productivity losses. Think about that. The food you're eating today is directly impacting how much money you can make tomorrow. Mental health issues alone cause employees to miss 4 times more work than those with adequate mental health. The psychological forces at play here are fascinating. We have something called hyperbolic discounting. It's the tendency to choose immediate rewards over larger future rewards. That donut right now feels more valuable than the abstract concept of being healthy when you're 60. The gym membership seems like a waste when you could use that money for something you can enjoy today. But here's the brutal reality. Future you is going to exist. And future you is either going to thank you or resent you for the decisions you're making right now. Now you might be thinking, but I can't control everything. Sometimes people just get sick. And you're absolutely right. There are no guarantees. You can do everything right and still face health challenges. But, and this is crucial, we're talking about probabilities and risk management. That's literally what all of finance is. You buy insurance not because your house will definitely burn down, but because the risk exists and the consequences are catastrophic. Your health is the same calculation. Except the probability of developing a chronic disease from poor lifestyle choices is astronomically higher than your house burning down. And the financial consequences are just as catastrophic. Let me give you another number that should terrify you. About 14% of Americans with medical debt plan to declare bankruptcy in 2022 because of it. Medical debt affects approximately 100 million Americans. The total medical debt across the U.S. is estimated at $195 billion, and about 500,000 families per year experience medical bankruptcy. Think about that. 500,000 families. People who worked hard, saved money, did everything they thought they were supposed to do. Financially destroyed because of health issues. And here's the thing that keeps me up at night. Many of these situations were preventable. Not all, but many. So what do you actually do with this information? Here's the action plan. First, reframe health spending as an investment, not an expense. That gym membership? That's not $50 a month. That's potentially $16,752 a year in avoided diabetes costs. That's $189,000 in preserved retirement savings. Those are the returns that matter. Second, get your numbers. And I mean really get them. Go get a physical. Get your blood work done. Know your cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, and BMI. You cannot manage what you don't measure. This is the same principle you'd apply to your financial portfolio, except the stakes are higher. Third, invest in prevention, ruthlessly. Quality food costs more than junk food in the short term, but type 2 diabetes costs $16,752 per year, every year. For the rest of your life, the ROI on good nutrition is insane. A gym membership might be $600 a year. Cardiovascular disease is $19,000 per year. Do the math. Fourth, protect your sleep like you protect your password. Sleep deprivation is directly linked to obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and reduced cognitive function, which impacts your earning capacity. 7 to 8 hours, non-negotiable. Fifth, address mental health with the same seriousness as physical health. Depression, anxiety, and chronic stress aren't just emotional issues, they're financial issues. Poor mental health costs employers billions in lost productivity. But more importantly, it costs you in ways that never show up on a spreadsheet. The career pivot you didn't take, the business you didn't start, the relationships you didn't build. Sixth, build a health emergency fund. You have a financial emergency fund, right? You need a health buffer too. Because even with insurance, unexpected medical expenses happen. Having $3,000 to $5,000 specifically for healthcare can prevent you from going into debt when health issues arise. Look, I get it. This isn't sexy. Nobody wants to think about disease and disability when they're young and healthy. It's way more fun to think about compound interest and early retirement and traveling the world. But here's the thing. You can't enjoy any of that if you're sick. You can't travel if you don't have the energy to walk through an airport. You can't enjoy retirement if you're spending it in doctor's offices. Health isn't separate from your financial plan. It is your financial plan. It's the foundation everything else is built on. You can have $1 million in the bank, but if you don't have your health, what's the point? The most expensive financial mistake you can make is treating your body like it's invincible. Because I promise you, the bill will come due. And when it does, it won't just cost you money. It'll cost you time, energy, opportunities, and possibly everything you've worked for. The good news? You still have time. Every single day, you get to make choices that either protect or erode your greatest financial asset. Choose wisely. If this video changed how you think about health and money, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that challenges the way you think about building wealth. Drop a comment and let me know. What's one health investment you're going to prioritize this year? Your future self is counting on you. Don't let them down.